needed a little upgrade for in here, so I got one of these. Got it over on Temu, and I can't believe the price that I got it. It was so inexpensive that I was like, I need to get this and then see if it's legit. And if it's legit, I'm going to tell you about it. So I got a 4060 Ti. It's a gigabyte wind force. Now, if you've got like a 3060 Ti, it's not a huge step up from that. But if you're someone who's coming from like a generation or a couple generations before that, this is a huge upgrade. The 4060 Ti at this price point, I think now is a pretty good deal, especially if you're playing at 1080p or 1440p or some games at 4K, but those two with the ray tracing, because you can do the ray tracing. I like saying the first because it makes me sound like an old person who doesn't really care about ray tracing, because that's kind of what I am. But hey, all you kids can enjoy the ray tracing. So I'm going to tell you about the Temu stuff, and then we're going to install this, test it out, and then I've got a bunch more stuff to test out, like a Blu-ray burner, a portable Blu-ray burner. I've also got a case that was like 20 bucks, and I can't figure out how there was free shipping on something that big that was 20 bucks. And then right here, that new plastic smell, there we go. I've got buzzsaws. This is a powerful rotary tool, so I can cut holes in things because I want to modify some old cases. Not going to do it in this video because the video will be 3 hours long if I test a graphics card, show you a Blu-ray burner, show you that case, and cut holes. No, we're just going to show you all the stuff. So we got a couple different options. Now, I use the Temu website and give them only the information I want to. I don't install any apps on my phone whatsoever when it comes to any stores. All these links are going to be in the description. You can download the app if you want to. You get a $100 coupon bundle. The code for that is DUJ8262. If you want to use the website for the bundle, you can do it too, DUT4444. And all these links are going to be below in the description, so you can get the app if you want to. You don't have to. You can still get the $100 coupon bundle that way if you like. There's all kinds of flash sales and stuff, so all those links are going to be in the description. So I got this graphics card on flash sale for a little bit cheaper than it is now, but I'm not going to tell you the price I got it because I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the? Anyway, but it's still, I think, a good value at the price that it is at. This graphics card's got 2 display ports, 2 HDMI. See on the back right there. It's got a back plate for the rigidity, 2 fans, which, for a 4060 Ti that's not extremely high powered part. It's got 1 8-pin power connector. That's going to keep it cool. And it's also relatively quiet. I could barely hear it even with the side panel of the case off, so that's a bonus. All right, the main thing I want to do is just install it and test it out. Now, the system that I'm using to install this is not super fancy. It's a Ryzen 5 5600G, so not ridiculously fast. But yeah, I think that's something that's about right to pair with a card like this in this price range, because you can put together a gaming system that's not ridiculously expensive, like $700-800 or whatever. Most of the money goes into the GPU, then the CPU, then everything else. Let's hop over and just play some Cyberpunk and see how it runs, make sure it's legit, make sure it's actually performing as planned. I got the newest drivers installed, and this is the rest of the system. You can see right there, only running a 5600G, but for 1080p gaming, I don't think I'm going to need much more than that. Now I'm going to try out some Cyberpunk right here. Where did they put the damn thing? I'm going to try ray tracing medium. See how this runs. Yeah, whatever, I'll just run it. Even though I hate motion blur, I'll run it like this. Oh, this is running like butter. Look at this. This is a beautiful card for ray tracing at 1080p. Look at that. And it looks amazing. Let's try ray tracing ultra just to see what happens. Actually, can we turn it up to... No, we can't. You know what? You can play it on ray tracing ultra at 1080p. So for 1440p and 1080p, this will be just fine. Depending on your settings, of course, with 1440p. And there you see it. Yeah, ran great. All right, so let's take a look at what else is on the list here. Now, I've got a few portable drives, just so I can always have access to my physical media. And I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to also have some Blu-ray. And then I was like, oh, there's a Blu-ray burner for this price. Well, yes, that's really handy, because then I could use it to back up stuff, back up Blu-rays, and also use it to rip Blu-rays and everything with Make MKV. So let's just do it. Now I got this, and I wanted to try everything out. So we've got a full-on hub, like all kinds of stuff you can plug up. You got a TF card or SD card, micro on that side. They both work just fine. We get about 30 or 40 megabytes per second on those. And then we have 2 Type-C ports and 2 USB 3 Type-A ports right there. So all that, it's all USB 3. So it's going to be sharing that. So if you got it all going at the same time, it'll run a little bit slower. But this is really handy if you want to plug this up to your laptop or whatever, because a lot of laptops don't have a lot of ports. And if you see on the bottom there, this thing has USB Type-A and Type-C permanently attached with a little dongle. So you plug it up to your laptop and all of a sudden you've got a hub and a Blu-ray player burner. So I wanted to try it out. It does not really work with 4K Blu-ray, so it's not one of those, but it'll work with your regular 1080p Blu-rays. So let's try ripping a Blu-ray just, to make a backup. Got Ghost in the Shell here. And it took a couple hours, 2.5 hours or so to rip a copy of that, so about real time. And then we've got an MKV file that we can throw into Handbrake or whatever and crunch down into a nice AV1 or an H.265 or whatever you want. You can easily do that. So that's cool, but you can also just use it to watch the movies, because Blu-ray movies are way higher quality than what you see on Netflix. You got a movie that you want to watch on Netflix or Disney or whatever service you've got, try the Blu-ray. You're going to be absolutely shocked, because there's 10 times more storage space on a Blu-ray compared to what you're going to get when you're doing streaming. So you're going to see the film grain, you're going to see better colors, you're going to see sharper edges, you're going to see better contrast. The dark scenes are not going to have that flickery, pixelated nonsense going on. Blu-rays are where it's at. So if you want to watch movies, this is going to be a cool thing. You could plug it up to your big rig already that probably doesn't have an optical, spot. So I had some fun testing that out, and now I have a portable Blu-ray burner. I do have a fancier Blu-ray burner in my computer that also works with 4K, but I do not expect to get full 4K support for $56. Just, yeah. Okay, let's talk about this case. I'm going to save this for last, because it's the thing that I know the least about, and I'm going to need to test it out. But yeah, you get a whole bunch of stuff here. Anyway, so I couldn't believe that you could get this for, well, this was 31. See, I got it on a flash sale for like 27 or something. So yeah, but it's free shipping for $30. Is this worth $30? Well, let's talk about what we got here. Now, it does feel very thin. It's a micro ATX case, but it's rigid. It's kind of interesting because the metal feels really thin, but I've had cases that were far more expensive that had more wiggle and stuff. This one, they have plates and everything mounted on the inside, and they've kind of tied it together so that it doesn't wiggle and wobble. I was a little bit impressed by that. And we have room in the front for a 120 millimeter fan, but there's nowhere to screw it down. At least I didn't see any screw holes. There's some little pegs that you can place your 120 millimeter fan into. And then after that, after you placed it in the pegs, I guess it stays there, but I just put a piece of tape on it because I don't care. So I got tape on that thing. Now, when it comes to mounting the motherboard, there's a large cutout behind where your motherboard's going to go. So it'll mount right there, and then the cutout, you got a tiny bit of cable routing room, not much. And then right above the motherboard, you're going to have your power supply. Now, it'll support a large power supply, like really, really big power supply, as long as you're not using an optical drive. And that's the other thing that I think is pretty cool about this case, is that in the front, we have room for an optical drive or whatever else. If you wanted to put like a tray in there or something, you could do that. So there is room for that. Now, what's interesting is on their website, they don't have, or like I guess on the sale page, it doesn't tell you like details about the size of the graphics card and stuff, but they have this in the box. And this tells me exactly what size graphics card and heatsink that I can put on there. So let's see. For the CPU cooler, 155 millimeter height, as long as it's below that. And then the GPU length can be up to 270 millimeters. All right, now let's talk about the sacrifices that we've had to make. So this is really just a big, empty, very thin steel case. That's what it is. There's a few smart things that have happened here. We've got mounting areas behind the motherboard tray for 2.5 inch M.2 or whatever. We got mounting spots behind the motherboard where you can mount like a 2.5 inch hard drive, SSD or whatever. We got spots on the bottom where you can mount hard drives. But they're, a lot of these things, they're going to require some grommets. I guess you could do screws on the bottom, but we don't have any feet on the bottom. It doesn't come with any feet. I couldn't find any feet in the box. So it's just metal sitting on something. If you put it on your desk, it's going to scratch it all up. If you put it on the floor, you'd probably be fine. I'd probably put it on like something, some piece of pad or something. But yeah, there's no feet. There's a spot where you can mount feet if you wanted to. You'd get some rubber and mount it, but no feet. You'll notice other spots around in the case where there's stuff where you maybe could do something, but it doesn't have all the stuff. It just has one bag of small screws, and that's what you got. If you're just doing a simple build and you're trying to keep the price down, then it's fine for that. It depends on what you're going to be using it for. Not a lot of options when it comes to like, dust and everything else, but if you just want something super simple and super cheap, that's pretty much what it is. I do like the size of it. It doesn't come with any fans. So I'm like, maybe I'll try doing a little bit of a build in this. I don't think I would use it for like a production rig, but maybe like a media center or just something, whatever. If I wanted to have enough room for a graphics card, a motherboard, a power supply, maybe a hard drive or two, and that's about it. Maybe a fan in the front that you have to tape down. Just put a few of those things in there. And the nice thing about it, since it's a big open area, you'll have a lot of room to build and not have to worry so much. Not a lot of cable management or whatever, but it is what it is. So it's basically just a very inexpensive case that's okay, but misses a lot of different things. It needs more options. Not sure what I expected for $30 with free shipping from from China. It is about what I should have expected, I guess. This is something that I think a lot of people could maybe use, just some extra stuff. Maybe you've got a case that doesn't have enough USB and you've got extra USB ports on your motherboard, like extra USB 2 and extra USB 3 or whatever. Well, this is what you need right here. Plug up your Molex right there for power, and then you got powered USB to charge stuff. Just add a little extra USB. The audio is optional. Maybe you've got a case that doesn't have audio, and there you go. This will be handy because I'm thinking about maybe doing a retro sleeper build with an older system or an older case, and it'll need some of this stuff. So yeah, one thing that's kind of interesting is the back of this could have been cut off. We don't need all that. So I might actually use my rotary tool to slice the back of this thing off so that I have a little extra space in some of my cases. But if you don't need to worry about that and you can do the full size, then by all means. But we have our front screws. As long as I get, just a little bit beyond the front screws and cut it off, that'll be fine. Okay, last up, let's take a look at the 400 watt rotary tool. Just get a load of this thing. So yeah, it comes with so many different things. We got saws, we got sanders, we got, just stuff to cut holes. Everything you see right here. Look at all this. So before I mess with this, I'm gonna have to get those gloves and everything else. I don't have all these things right now. So you can do polishing, grilling, grinding, all kinds of stuff. Cleaning off rust, whatever. Drilling holes and stuff, modifying old stuff. And it's for this price, it's really well built. This thing is a machine. Like, this is tough. So I gotta get some gloves and some glasses and all that kind of stuff before I can mess around with this little splash guard type thing right there. That's handy. Make sure I don't get the shavings and everything all over your face. Wrenches, tools, locking mechanisms, all kinds of stuff in there. An Allen wrench. I feel like I'm inhaling plastic fumes. And here are all the sanders, bits, files, whatever else. And then you already saw the saws. Oh, there we go. There's that little locking. I guess they call it a key. I don't know. I'm not mechanical in that way. The new plastic smell is ridiculous. I don't know if y'all knew this, but one of the main reasons I want to move to Japan is I just cannot handle strong smells of perfumes and stuff. But that has a really strong, straight out of the factory smell, if you know what I mean. Like, whew. Yes. Anyway, we've covered a lot in this video. I'll probably do another video soon where I actually do some stuff with all this, because whenever Temu contacts me and they're like, hey, do you want to make a video? I just look for stuff that I want to use, because I don't need to have a bunch of junk around here that I'm not going to use. So the graphics card, I think we'll do a build with that. Case, I don't know if you'll be seeing that again. It's cheap, it is what it is. I don't know if I'll use it for my own builds or not. So, well, after I mess around with that a little bit, maybe I'll show you what I've done. Maybe I've got some plans. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think of all this stuff. You getting any of it? Let me know. So head on over here, check out all the trending items, get that coupon bundle going right there. Let me know what you're grabbing. So the links that I have, they're actually special links that they put together based upon the stuff that I'm looking at and the stuff that I like. So think about what you need while all these flash sales are going on, and whenever you see it on flash sale. What in the, what, 13, what? These flash sales. $1? How are they doing this? Just a second ago, it was not. I don't understand. And now it's, okay. Watch for the flash sales. All right, I'll see you later.